Hello, Kinders. We're back for some more stories. I hope you had a great day and you're ready to hear some more bedtime stories. The first one we're going to read tonight is another Arthur story. Our friend Arthur is back, and this time it's called Arthur Writes a Story. Just like when you do writing in our classroom and you write stories. Look, he's working so hard. He has his little tongue out. He's thinking so hard. This book is by Mark Brown. Arthur's teacher, Mr. Ratburn, explained the homework. "What should the story be about?" Arthur asked. "Anything," Mr. Ratburn said. "Write about something that is important to you." Ooh, look what Mr. Ratburn wrote on the blackboard. He said, when you write a story, you have to have a beginning, a first, a middle, a next, and a last, and an end. You use details and be creative. Ooh, I like those instructions. Arthur started his story the minute he got home. He knew exactly what he wanted to write about. How I got my puppy Pal. I always wanted a dog, but first I had to prove I was responsible. So I started Arthur's pet business. My mom made me keep all the animals in the basement. It was a lot of work, but it was fun until I thought I lost Perky. But then I found her, and she had 3 puppies, and I got to keep one of them. That's how I got my dog, Pal. The end. Arthur read his story to D.W. "That's a boring story," D.W. said. "Does it have to be real life? Because your life is so dull." "I don't want to write a boring story," said Arthur. "If it were me," D.W. suggested, "I'd make a story about getting an elephant." The next day, Arthur read his new story to Buster. "Did you like the part about the elephant puppies?" he asked. "It's okay, I guess," said Buster. "I'm writing a cool story about outer space." "Maybe my story should take place on the moon," thought Arthur. On Wednesday, Arthur read his newest story to the brain. "Scientifically speaking, elephants would weigh less on the moon, but wouldn't float that high," said the brain. "So you don't like it?" asked Arthur. "A good story should be well researched," said the brain. "Like mine, if I had a pet stegosaurus in the Jurassic period." Arthur hurried to the library. "What are all these books for?" asked Francine. "Research," said Arthur. "I'm writing about my pet 5-toed mammal of the genus Loxodonta." "Your what?" asked Francine. "My elephant," Arthur explained. "Oh," said Francine, "I'm putting jokes in my story." All through dinner, Arthur worried about his story. "Please pass the corn," asked Father. "Corn, that's it," said Arthur. "Purple corn and blue elephants on planet Schmelephant. Now that's funny." "Arthur's acting weirder than usual," said D.W. On Thursday, everyone at the Sugar Bowl was talking about their stories. "Last year, a kid wrote a country western song for her story," said Prunella, "and she got an A+. "How do you know?" asked Arthur. "That kid was me," explained Prunella. "Mr. Ratburn said I should send it to a record company. It was that good." "Wow," said Arthur. That night, Arthur's imagination went wild. He decided to turn his story into a song. He even made up a dance to go with it. Later, he tried it out on his family. Now this little boy can go home and enjoy his own personal striped elephant, and you will see how happy he will be here on planet Shemelephant. Well, said Arthur, what do you think? Mother and Father smiled. It's nice, said Grandma Thora, but a little confusing. Too bad you can't dance, said D.W. What am I gonna do, said Arthur. My story is due tomorrow. That night, Arthur didn't sleep very well. The next day, Arthur worried until Mr. Ratburn finally called on him. When Arthur's song and dance was over, the classroom was so quiet it was almost spooky. Binky raised his hand. Did that really happen? Sort of, said Arthur. It started as the story of how I got my dog. I'd like to hear that story, said Mr. Ratburn. The title was How I Got My Puppy Pal, said Arthur. Arthur told how proud he was of his pet business and how scared he was when Perky disappeared, and he told how happy he was to find her under his bed and how surprised he was to see her 3 puppies. And the best part is, said Arthur, I got to keep one. Buster said, I like that story better than your other one. Great story, said Binky. I think Arthur's story was the best, said Francine. Good work, said Mr. Ratburn. Of course, I expect you to write it all down by Monday. Then Mr. Ratburn gave Arthur a gold sticker. Oh, and one more thing, he said. Leave out the dancing. So his original story was just perfect, how he got his dog, because it was a good story. It was a true story. He didn't have to talk about dancing elephants, did he? Our next story is called Don't Forget to Come Back. And this story is by Robbie H. Harris. The pictures are by Harry Bliss. This is a story about a little girl who didn't want her mom and dad to leave her with a babysitter. Let's see what happens. Don't forget to come back. Guess what? Yesterday, Daddy told me something very important. He told me that he and Mommy were going out right after supper, and Sarah was coming to babysit. I don't like that one bit, so I told Daddy 3 very important things. Number 1, here's her speech bubble. I am not a baby. Number 2, I am a big kid. Number 3, so I do not need a silly babysitter. Here's his speech bubble. Sugar, we have to go out. I still wanted Daddy and Mommy to stay home with me, so I told Daddy 3 very scary things. Number 1, if you go out tonight, the most gigantic, most loudest thunderstorm ever will come and blow our house down. Number 2, if you go out tonight, I'll get a very bad tummy ache and I'll throw up. Number 3, and if you go out tonight, the biggest, baddest moose will walk into our kitchen and eat me all up. That didn't scare Daddy at all. Well, if you really have to go, then I'll come with you. I ran and gathered Panda, a bag of chips, my bike helmet, and my monster book. my ballet shoes, my umbrella, and my toothbrush. See, I'm ready to go, and if you really, really love me, you'll take me with you. We always love you, Pumpkin, even when we go out. Daddy always calls me Sugar, and Mommy always calls me Pumpkin just before they go out. So the bad news was they were still going to go out. I know what to do, Mommy. You go out, and Daddy can stay with me, and we won't need Sarah. Don't worry, Pumpkin. We won't be gone for long. Well, if you go out, I won't be nice anymore, and you won't like that. I was so mad, I ran into the closet and shut the door. No way, it's way too dark in here, Panda. I've run away. Do you miss me yet? We miss you already, Sugar. Hope you won't be gone forever. Please come home soon. Hi, I'm back. Welcome home. Are you still going out? Yes, Pumpkin. Well, if you go out, then I'll go somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere very far away, and maybe, just maybe, I will never come back. Oh, she is very, very upset, isn't she? The doorbell rang. I grabbed Panda and ran to my room. Sarah's here. Tell Sarah I've gone to the South Pole. Guess what? Sarah walked into my room. Where are you? I'm still here, but I'm leaving for the South Pole very soon. Cool. We can waddle with the penguins. So, can I go with you? I do like Sarah, and she's not silly. She's silly. Well, okay, silly Sarah, but it's a very long trip, and it's very cold down there. I can't wait to go. Guess what now? It was time for Mommy and Daddy to go, so I told them the 3 very important things. Goodbye, Mommy. Goodbye, Daddy. Don't forget to come back. And finally, they went out. And after they left, Sarah and I were so busy we didn't have time to go all the way to the South Pole. Sarah heated up cheese pizza with pepperoni and pineapple on top. I'm going to put peanut butter and pickles on top too, silly Sarah. Ooh. And after that, Sarah let me paint my fingernails and toenails with silver and purple polish. How am I doing, Sarah? Nice. And then we put orange lipstick on our noses, cheeks, and lips. We looked like clowns, and I liked that. And before I went to bed, Sarah didn't make me brush or wash off any of my clown makeup, and I liked that too. And she read me my monster book 5 times. That was so cool. And guess what else? That this morning when I tiptoed into Daddy and Mommy's room, there they were, asleep and snoring in the big bed. I gave them squeezy hugs and noisy kisses, and they both woke up. And when they saw me, they were so happy I didn't forget to come back all the way from the South Pole. So I told them 3 more very important things. Number 1, the South Pole is too cold. Number 2, Sarah is so silly. And number 3, she didn't let a single moose in the house. But she had a good night after all. After all that complaining, she had fun with silly Sarah. Our last book tonight is called You and Me, Little Bear. This book is by Martin Waddell, illustrated by Barbara Firth. You and Me, Little Bear. Once there were two bears, Big Bear and Little Bear. Big Bear is the big bear, and Little Bear is the little bear. Little Bear wanted to play, but Big Bear had things to do. I want to play, Little Bear said. I have to get wood for the fire, said Big Bear. I'll get some too, Little Bear said. You and me, Little Bear, said Big Bear. We'll bring the wood in together. What shall we do now? Little Bear asked. I'm going for water, said Big Bear. Can I come too? Little Bear asked. You and me, Little Bear, said Big Bear. We'll go for water together. Now can we play? Little Bear said. I still have to clean up our cave, said Big Bear. Well, I'll clean it up too, Little Bear said. You and me, said Big Bear. You clean up your things, Little Bear, and I'll take care of the rest. I've cleaned up my things, Big Bear, Little Bear said. That's good, Little Bear, said Big Bear. But I'm not finished yet. I want you to play, Little Bear said. You'll have to play by yourself, Little Bear, said Big Bear. I still have plenty to do. Little Bear went to play by himself while Big Bear continued with the work. Little Bear played bear jump. Little Bear played bear slide. Little Bear played bear swing. Little Bear played bear tricks with bear sticks. Little Bear played bear stand on his head, and Big Bear came out to sit on his rock. Little Bear played bear run around by himself, and Big Bear closed his eyes to think. Little Bear went to talk to Big Bear, but Big Bear was asleep. Wake up, Big Bear, Little Bear said. Big Bear opened his eyes. I've played all my games by myself, Little Bear said. Big Bear thought for a minute. Then he said, Let's play hide and seek, Little Bear. I'll hide and you seek, Little Bear said. And he ran off to hide. Here I come, Big Bear called, and he looked until he found Little Bear. Then Big Bear hid, and Little Bear looked. I found you, Big Bear, Little Bear said. Now I'll hide again. They played lots of bear games, and when the sun slipped away through the trees, they were still playing. Then Little Bear said, Let's go home now, Big Bear. Big Bear and Little Bear went home to their cave. We've been busy today, Little Bear, said Big Bear. It was fun, Big Bear, Little Bear said. Just you and me playing. Together. There they are, eating their dinner. All right, Kinders, I hope you have a wonderful night. Sleep well in your beds, and I'll see you next time.